All right, let's get this party started.
Let's do
Pat,
it.
what's the topic for today, brother?
Okay, well, I'm going to start with what I read in the beginning of the last show.
Yes.
That growth is not automatic. It doesn't happen just because time passes. It happens when we recognize the patterns shaping our life and choose differently. This is growth is a choice, where we explore self-awareness, integrity, and the quiet discipline it takes to move forward. We're not here as experts who've arrived. We're not gurus. We're here documenting growth in real time. Let's begin today's pattern. Avoidance. A little similar to waiting, but avoidance, a little bit different. Just as strong. So let's talk about avoidance. This one hides in plain sight all the time. And this is my dog Loki. He'll be joining today's conversation.
The topic today. It makes me like... there's so many hard talks in life and things that we experience.
Conversations are like the worst.
Oh my gosh, conversations are the worst.
Mm-hmm.
And when, gosh, man, I got all these methods to like avoid in life. And I think one of the biggest ones is that I've realized that I can do sometimes is over intellectualize, or just a fancy word for just overthinking things. And it's quite challenging to stop it sometimes. I think we did talk about it last time, yeah.
And the over-intellectualizing for me is more of like sometimes, I'm not saying that you do this, but I'm saying it's like it's sometimes to convince other people.
Oh, I do that.
Well, it's like if you believed it, like why do I need to convince other people of it? If I actually believed it, I don't actually need to do that. But like no, but I do the same thing. Like I think everyone does. Like it's just everyone does it. But at least the over-intellectualizing to me means that you're like pinpointing what you're actually trying to not avoid, right? You're actually using what you learned to try to not avoid that thing. That if you didn't learn about it or didn't intellectualize about it, you would be avoiding like more. Like the things that you would want to avoid even more.
I see.
If that makes sense.
Is that like...
relationships or hard conversations with a boss? You know, like asking for a raise, I feel like is a good example. Or... which I think it's hard for... I've never done it. Like, I can't really ask for it. I don't know how to do that. But, like, I do know that you need to make your value clear. Say why you need the raise. Like, I get the steps, but, like, it doesn't even matter if you know the steps that you should take. It would be a hard conversation nonetheless.
Yeah, and I think that's super beautiful. And there are hard conversations to have with the self. I'm coming to understand more clearly. Where asking for a raise, that idea in itself, I think can also apply to self, as in like, it's so easy to feel such a low level of self-esteem sometimes. And gosh, we are the boss of our own lives. Ask yourself for a raise. You deserve it.
I think that's a really good... I've never even thought about it like that. You should probably ask yourself for the raise before talking to somebody else about the raise you deserve. Because if you don't know why you're asking for the raise, you just need it because you want more money. Or you felt like you've been there too long. I still think you need to have that conversation with yourself to be able to articulate, even to the boss, in a correct way, with confidence that, like, no, I deserve this raise.
Yeah. And... Okay. Oh, well, yeah. You applied real world examples, which is great. Yes. Because I was doing a metaphor, and Yeah, no, that's a great idea. Yeah.
I mean, it just pops into my brain.
If you can't ask yourself for a raise, how can you ask anybody else for a raise?
They'll probably say
And-
no, and then you'll cower and be all sad.
If
like,
the reason is just to make more money, I'm just saying, how many people say they want to make more money and get it? You know?
Agreed. Agreed.
I think we all want more money. And when I mentioned the idea of a raise, metaphorically, yours totally rock star. As we are our own bosses in our life, when we ask ourselves for a raise, I feel like it's like we give ourselves that honor, compassion or something of that nature. I think I'm onto something. I don't know.
No, I think you are. Yeah, like I would agree with that. You're giving yourself permission to go ask for that raise. Regardless if you get a no or a yes, you won't feel any different. Right? So like let's say you got a rejection. You know what you're gonna do? Instead of being like, fuck, well, they were right, I'm worth shit type of thing, like I didn't get what I wanted, you might leave that job and start looking somewhere else. Or you will get that raise, in my opinion. So like two good perspectives on that. Like you either two good things that you could do is know that you don't belong there, or you get it, right? And then so like what's the worst thing that happens? You get rejected. The only thing that's really bad is if you take that and like internalize that I'm not worth that raise type of thing. Because then I feel like that's just a downward slope. You kind of get stuck.
And it creates that feedback loop of
shit.
Woe is me, do bad work, even though you're a rock star and you're doing a great job.
And you could be doing a great job.
You can still be doing a great job.
And then somebody's telling you you're not doing a good job, or you're not competing with somebody else who's always like already doing a good job. I feel like if you're competing against good people, like the Olympics, right? Let's say you win bronze and you're not happy. If you had a coach that told you were shit because you got bronze, you might actually feel like you're shit because you got bronze. But like literally, bronze is not fucking bad in the entire world. Like, give me a fucking break.
You know, and we're not talking about handing out, what do you call it? Participant awards, okay?
Yeah. Which I've gotten before. You know, like, I mean, my teams are usually good, but no, like I will say, but like there was always like the participation trophy, which I remember being a kid and being like, why do those kids get one? And then, you know, I was told, no, and it totally made sense though. They get one to not feel bad. They get one because they did do a bunch of work that, guess what? The people who weren't in the league, the people who didn't even try, don't get one of those. And that matters to me.
You know, I hear that putting your kids through sports can be a little pricey. It almost sounds like half of that price goes towards the trophy sometimes. That's a bad joke.
They're not even real gold usually, right? They're like plastic, figurines.
They're just like plastic.
On the top.
There are literal. Oh my gosh, there is we're in Southern California. In Garden Grove, there is a shop that makes trophies, which kind of blows my mind and kind of really puts into perspective that you could just walk in there.
Buy yourself a trophy.
Buy yourself
Put whatever you want on it, and then display it, right? And then even if everybody you could be like, I totally won this thing. I did this thing, like blah, blah, blah. Even though I'll show you, I swear, after this video, I want you to come see all my trophies.
I want to. Yeah,
like, I got a fuck
great.
load of trophies. Like, I got a lot of trophies.
I've seen a couple. He's a sportsman. Yes.
I was a sportsman. I mean, I still am. When you get older, it's harder to join leagues and X and Y, even though that's not an excuse.
You know how we said metaphorically, you're the boss of your life, and you can give yourself a raise? Go to that trophy store and buy a trophy that says, I'm trying to write a bad joke. Don't do it. Don't actually do it.
You know what's funny is that I have a toilet seat trophy. And it's for fantasy, right? So the worst person in fantasy, yeah, exactly. So it's a trophy for the worst player. All right, so and it's literally a toilet that I swear to God, like I won't bring it right now, but I do have it. But like basically, it's the Sacco, right? Like of anybody who plays fantasy, like you'll know. But yeah, we have the trophy that's just a fucking toilet seat. It sits underneath my drawer. I still need to return that to my league, by the way, because I wasn't the Sacco this year. It's kind of lost under my stuff, but like it's a trophy for bad performance. There's also that.
In all honesty, I feel like that trophy is more valuable than a participation award.
It's very reminding that like you got to do something different the next season, in my opinion. Like whatever you did, whether it was ignoring your team or not enough whatever it was, like it's just a reminder. You don't want that. You don't want that thing.
That's
basically.
wonderful.
You want to get it out of your hands, kind of thing, because it'll get passed on to the next person who is the worst player of the league. So it's not something that you have to retain. But when you do own it, you don't want it.
Okay, at this point,
So a different kind of trophy.
it sounds like bad juju. Where is this located?
I literally have it over there.
We gotta hand it back to the league. What league is this?
It's my fantasy league for
football.
Yeah.
We gotta hand it back.
No. I mean, yeah. And like, no, I've been asked, like, hey, can I get that back so that we can put on the new people who are, engraved on there. So I mean, I will. I don't need that anymore. I don't want the toilet seat. Like, give me a break. But back to the topic of avoidance.
Yes.
Actually, we already gave pretty good personal examples. So I was going to go into personal examples. Like, I have a hard time. I delay conversations I don't want to have. Literally just, which is easy to understand in my opinion. And then, a lot of the times I think, like, why don't I want to have that conversation? It's usually because I can't see the good that would come out of the conversation. And, like, my perspective is shot. It's just like, that's going to go bad. And I've, like, definitively said that in my mind, which becomes true. And then I avoid it because I assume that that's what's going to occur. Instead of at least leaving a little room open that this is, like, probably the most possible thing, but like there still should be room for like you didn't expect that, in my opinion, and to leave that open will make you maybe a little bit less have the conversation.
Yeah.
And not only that, I think we talked about it before this.
Yeah.
It's the relief that comes from just getting it fucking done.
Yeah.
Or just having the hard conversation. I just think that a lot of the times in our mind we go like 100% this is going to be a bad conversation. It's going to make me feel like shit. Blah, 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 blah. And then we don't want to have it. Even though we don't know. You don't know. You're uncertain. There's no 100% in my mind in the world.
That's good. Yeah, that's super guaranteed.
You tell me.
For me, I'm great at executing things sometimes. Sometimes. What my avoidance tactic is getting overly jazzed. Yes, I get a little too jazzed. Yes, and what will happen is that energy will transfer over, and I'll find myself being like, after even the decision has been made or the execution, I just know that energy, or I'm not going to say energy. The word is emotions. Yes.
Which
emotions. It is energy,
it
right?
Is. It's literally
100%, right?
It's literally everyone's energy, in my opinion.
Yeah. And when I get too jazzed, my emotions they'll jump over, and sometimes when I reflect, I'll be like, what was I transferring over there? And I'll be like, was that what I wanted to do? And I'll be like, oh no. And then, last episode we talked about patterns.
You're waiting.
Yeah.
As a pattern.
So my avoidance concept is being like, hey, what are you gonna do, JT, to do less of that energy transfer, bro? And asking that hard question to my own self is a bit challenging. I almost want a participation award for it. I don't want to.
I'll give you a. We celebrate small wins here. And then, okay, so I want to move on to the next thing. What is it protecting from avoiding?
Ooh. You see my body language? I'm like,
I don't
this
want
is
to
a
talk
hard
about
one.
this.
I know. It's great. This is wonderful.
I'm avoiding this
I know.
conversation.
If you feel uncomfortable in this episode, all right, because I'm was that a question you asked me, or
yeah.
Oh, okay. What was it?
That's a question. What do you think it's protecting? And I'll cross one out because we had it last week.
Yeah, absolutely. Ego. Ego is a huge one. We all know that one. For me, it is facing some hard questions for self. Because
you're allowed to say I don't know. I mean, like if I ask you a question,
both. It's like
I mean, like feel fine saying like I don't actually know.
It's
instead
like
of
it's
like
like
I feel like an ego answer is a little different.
Yeah, like it's a little bit of both, because it's like an I know and I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are portions where I know that there are hard questions that I want to ask myself, and I know if I answer them, what will happen is I will find out more of what I do not know.
Mm-hmm.
That fear in itself is very, very big sometimes. And every time we make a choice to ask ourselves hard questions and find a way to answer it for ourselves, we uncover more questions. And what's that quote from Stephen Hawking?
Is it about the shadow, basically?
It was like, someone asked him like, "Oh, are you the smartest man in the world?" He's like, "No, because I know too many questions. I know too many things I don't know."
Mm-hmm.
The more we find out we don't know, I feel from that quote is, it's scary, because does it open the world? Is there more perspective?
I would say that you feel a little smaller in it.
Heck yeah, man.
And then I would say like that's not a very comfortable feeling for people with an ego who thinks they're super important. Or a big deal or a big shot necessarily. So I mean, like for in general. But then I also think there's and I had it on my my tongue. There's something else other than the ego though, and I was right there. But you just realize that you don't have the answer. The certainty. We love as human beings to be certain about the control, right? Like so that's what I mean. So like you like the circle of control, but like control in and of itself, we want to be
circle of control. It's still control at the end of the day.
Control equals comfortability type of thing. Even though in my mind we can't necessarily control shit.
I learned today that even though we may have some form of control over ourselves, it doesn't always work out that way, because there's something called the nervous system. Old patterns and behaviors are wired in our brain to the degree where if changes happen, it is natural for resistance to happen. So I'm learning recently that it is more about good practice and behavior over time, because it's so easy to tell ourselves, you know what, if I just stop doing this, everything will be okay. And I learned that phrase in itself is a very strong coping mechanism, a form of self-sabotage, because it just rules out everything.
Definitely
all the
self.
patterns and self.
Right, because you're saying like if that thing was different, right? Or
Yeah.
if this happened a different way, like or whatever it is, circumstances, right? And those things are, I don't think are in anybody's necessarily their control. I think people need to realize like they're lucky or unlucky in their situation. But there's no reason to stop them from doing anything.
Yeah.
We're growing a little bit here and there. We're all kind of stuck.
Little by little. Well, there's a phrase, brick by brick.
Brick by brick.
Brick by brick. Rome wasn't built
In a day.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Even though it could have been, we weren't there. So just like the pyramids, right? Like we don't know. They're still trying to figure that one out. Like I saw something recently about cannibalizing structures. If you guys are interested, but I won't go into that. Yeah. How like one pyramid, you could build it up in a certain way and then just take away the outside part that was basically keeping it. I mean, to easily build it, and then you take away the outside structures that like people would have to walk up.
That's
and then
wonderful
that was the
sculpting.
next, and then that was the next pyramid, right?
That's wonderful.
So like
sculpting.
all that residual stuff got put into the next pyramid, which they did the same thing in a smaller pyramid, right? So like Giza first, and I was like, that's the best thing I've ever heard. Versus like the people, the 100,000 slaves that had to walk through the desert with ropes dragging it from X and Y. Like it was just dumbfounding. Like it was just don't even worry about it. We're not talking about it on this episode.
Or maybe the
cannibalizing structures.
That's okay. That makes a lot of sense.
I
maybe it was
was
dropped off by
fascinated.
aliens. I don't know.
I was fascinated.
Dropped
Just
off by
look
aliens.
into it, all right? And then I actually wanted to talk about what the cost is.
The cost?
The cost. And I'm going to say my first thing is stress compounds. It's like the buildup of like this thing you're avoiding. Like, and I think everybody can attest to it, even though nobody wants to. But if you in your internal, you look inside and you're like, I really don't want to do this thing. And then you see how much time passes. I feel like every second, every minute, it actually is compounding, even though you'd be like, I'll do this in 30 minutes. And then it doesn't happen. And it could be procrastination, but all I mean is like there's a compounding effect. It feels worse, heavier over time. Like, and you won't want to do it more and more. It'll be like until you're like, no, I don't want to do this at all. And then you'll probably just stop yourself from doing something that we're all here for experiences. Why avoid?
That is a wonderful perspective because it's like including. Because I'm having a perspective shift. Excuse me. Currently at this moment, to the point where my body is reacting and doing little burps, where the compounding effects of negative things. A part of me used to feel like that, like, oh, if you did more good, it could overrule the negative. I feel like looking at it that way is a bit too narrow-minded. I'm really opening up my mind, my neurons, whatever that is, and taking that in and soaking in, because even if we do a ton of good all the time, if we do one bad thing all the time, i.e., I don't know, let's say one, you let a toenail overgrow. You clip all 10 toenails, but you let one unclipped, and before you know it, you got a hangnail that you're praying to Jesus to fix. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out an example.
Yeah, I was actually thinking more like it compounds, right? So like let's say that one thing gets worse.
Ooh.
For me, there's a bunch of other things that start to happen. So if you think about like a ripple effect,
yeah,
like this one thing that you didn't think you're just gonna avoid it, right? And you could be doing a bunch of good that overrides it in your mind for the time being. I think that's temporary, right? Because that other thing, let's say you weren't doing quote unquote what you believed was good for like a certain amount of time. That thing's still there, right? Like that thing you were avoiding is still there, and like it's grown. Right, so it's like a monster in your closet.
I'm not the only one on this one.
And then it just ripples to other things, and then it becomes another thing I don't want to do and avoid, and it becomes another fucking monster. It's almost like Monsters Inc. And then you have like 10 monsters in your room, like all different ones, and then it becomes overwhelming. And then when it becomes overwhelming, that's when like depression sets in. That's when The overwhelm is one of the worst feelings I think I've ever experienced, or I really don't like it, you know? Like, I despise it. Like, it's just gross to me. I feel like everybody should be able to just be like, and it's not even going to be possible. Like, everybody can't do this, but like what I like to do is just say, right when I hit overwhelm, you just drop the, you drop the mic, and you're like, I gotta do something. Like, I don't know. Like, I really don't like it.
I'll be honest. That method is an opposite method to mine. Yeah. I usually do a double down and get overly jazzed. I see how it can be effective, but sometimes, if things do get too intense, it's okay to be like,
I need to take a step back.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Because, like, I have this feeling of always go, 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 and, like I'm saying, like, you guys know, like I should be saying that, but,
everybody's got their mindset, right? Like,
we all got that, like, thing that we've all wanted to, like eating healthier, saying more nice things to yourself, journaling, just taking a walk outside daily.
But don't listen to other people, right? Like, so I love journaling because I need to get my thoughts out of my head on paper. Like, I have to. Like, I know somebody else is not going to like that, right? Like, it's not going to be their cathartic way to feel like their brain is relieved or anything like that. Like, so there is other ways, right? There's like meditation, like somebody needs to physically get their body, like, it's different than my brain needs a release type of thing. I love imagination and creativity. So a lot of the times journaling creates that for me. I get this release of stress, and then like all of a sudden I become creative again. Like, it's a boom. It's like a magnificent like explosion, but like it's not going to be the same for everybody. Like, for me, I love meditating too. If my body feels tense and I can't really like pinpoint why, right? Like, I love to go meditate and just go figure out like exactly what is going on. It's usually a mental and physical thing, right? Like, for me at least. But like other people need to experience what works for them instead of listening to someone being like, this is the cure, right? Like, it is not. It is not. It is 100% no, you should do it 100%, all of the different ways. Like, just analyze them and be like, hey, this one might work for me, and then try it. Right? Like, coloring for me. Like, I don't think other people have a coloring book and they're adult, right? But I do.
That's actually pretty cool.
I mean, I have tons. Like, I love coloring.
Adult coloring books?
I love that.
I feel like is underrated.
It's super underrated.
I've heard that there's like adult like painting coloring book kind of thing going on. It is the equivalent of having a meal kit sent to your home.
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
That's a bad joke.
You feel good after you have a meal kit, right? Like, it's easy, there's less stress, right? It's like a relief.
But, start with the meal kit, and maybe, you can go to the grocery store and get cooking, like, or maybe...
Cooking is one, too. So, like, you love to cook. So, like, for me, you always say it's cathartic. And I'm like,
it kind of is, yeah. I get a little lost.
It's like, but lost is like flow, in my opinion. So a lot of people,
are very correct.
It's really hard for me to describe the flow state. Other people have done it probably better, but it's when you lose, track of time, almost, in something that you really are enjoying, and like that's something that I feel like people just have lost, especially in adulthood. Like we don't get to go play sports in high school anymore. Right? Like, we don't get to do the things that put us into flow. Even though if you were just learning a sport, it probably is difficult. But like when you're playing a sport at like a high level, you don't think you're doing, right? Like Steph Curry could probably attest to this. It's just like, boo, 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 pah! And then it just feels so good and so nice. And there was no thought necessarily. There was such a quick, I can't really, there is no thought. It is just natural. Right, so coloring does that for me sometimes.
That's pretty cool.
Journaling does that for me sometimes.
Dude, flow state is like rock star. It's like when you're just like in the zone.
That's exactly it.
Right?
It's in the zone. It's in the zone.
When like everything is just like.
Yeah, and you almost can't.
Just like boom.
Yeah, and like honestly, you can't even. There's no 1, 2, 3 way to get there. But you'll know it.
You'll
know it when you find it. Like, you'll know it.
I tried to do the research and figure it out, but.
You
are 100% correct.
Not for everything. There's no
not for everything, but yes, there is it's really challenging to have a definitive answer to get into that state every single time. There are systems out there that increase the chances, but there is no guarantee.
Like
Yeah,
Apple,
that is
like
true.
Steve Jobs. Or I think it was Steve Jobs, but like he used to meditate and get into the flow state. That was his like natural way to come up with ideas. He would just like always go to flow state to get creative, blah 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 blah. Right? Like, and he'd be tapping into the, the unconscious of the world, right? Like where he can just play around with ideas, where he's not really doesn't have to do anything. You're just playing.
Is he on
around.
shrooms or something?
Yeah, I know. It sounds like it. Right? Like, no, but like he would come up with these great ideas.
But you don't have to get on shrooms to go into flow state.
No, you don't. You don't.
I from what I've been reading upon, you could do sports, right?
Yeah,
Or
no,
coloring,
for sure.
yes, or
Like,
cooking. Oh
for
my gosh,
me-
we were
for
just
me,
talking about it.
sports was like that. Like I'm a big basketball person. It was really easy for me to get into flow state during basketball. Just like it just felt like easy. Baseball was a little bit harder when I played, but like when I learned how, I was a leadoff hitter, so like if I learned how to bunt, and then everything became easy because I'm great in the outfield. And you play center field, I'm super fast, I'm catching everything. Like I could play second base, whatever. But then like stealing bases was super easy. It was super fun for me. Like it was just all that stuff was fun. What I didn't like was the ball flying at me with no defense. But when a coach showed me that I could, and I bat lefty, right? I could drag bunt. I could literally just be like, I could just whip it to the left field, right? Like on a slap hit, or not get beaten basically, and then or fucking drag bunt. Like I would drag bunt down the line, and I would just safe almost every single time. Like I did make all-stars from scoring the most runs. Like so.
Nice.
I know, but like my hitting percentage was great. But if you saw how I played, I guarantee people would be like, "Wow, that guy's a pussy." Like because I'm literally just like. Boop, drag bunt, and then the next hitter would come up, and then like I don't know, I was just weird like that. If anybody knows Juan Pierre back in the day, like Juan Pierre is one of those players, and he was in the MLB, but he just it's super fast. Anyways, but yes, sports is a big one for me, but I can't really do that often anymore. So what's cathartic for me is like coloring, just doing something I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Video games at times, which. Like if you really are playing and you have hand-eye coordination, you're not thinking about the buttons. It's just you doing. You'll go into a zone where you're in that world almost, right? If you really like the game, or like Super Smash, I know you like.
I'm talking about board games,
board
Atari,
games.
Xbox.
Board games is a little
I'm just
slower, but I love board games too. I like all things that I liked when I was a child, which I think people lose as well. People are like, "Oh my God, that's like for a child." Like, why? Aren't we all children on the inside? Like,
we are all children on the inside.
I don't have to lose that because I'm older.
We should never lose that, and I think it's so important to continually foster that and not lose that, while still growing maturity. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of times when there's too much focus on maturity, sometimes you can lose that child inside.
Well, are you maturing for you, or are you maturing because somebody told you to mature in the way that they want you to mature, right? Like, so you'll go look at like an image of somebody like that's a mature adult. You're actually just trying to steal all of what maturity looks like. You're not actually maturing, in my opinion. You're just mimicking the,
You want to take care of that child inside your heart.
I think so, and then mature at the same time, though, in your own way. I don't think you should abandon it. How about that?
Yeah, if you make that kid smile in your heart, go get that Atari.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, now video games are a huge industry. There's plenty of adults that have...
Go get that little board game,
I agree. And then one of the other things I wanted to touch on really quick was resentment builds. So like you'll start, if you are really avoiding things, like you just start hating even yourself for avoiding that thing, which bothers me a lot too, because I notice when I'm doing it to myself and I'm like, I need to stop. Like I don't like it. It'll become overwhelm as well. Like other than the stress compounding, like maybe they're one and the same, but resentment, like hating, like even just avoiding things for something too long, like I'll just hate that thing. more and more. So even the resentment compounds, if that makes sense. And then it's the self-resentment that I think always stays like trauma almost. Like it ingrains, and then people just don't really like that. I mean, it just sticks too long.
It's so easy to hate yourself.
Yeah, I would agree.
And then stacking resentment subconsciously or intentionally.
I mean, it's normally subconscious and it's unintentional, but like you're avoiding that thing. It is happening behind the scenes. It is an invisible thing that's occurring in my mind.
Challenge. Talk to yourself good. Treat yourself well.
Yeah, try at least. And when you're not, analyze it. When you're not, analyze why. Because I feel like that's probably where the avoidance kicks in. Like you're gonna be like, shit, I was avoiding this thing. I know I'm better than that, than just to avoid that thing. Why am I avoiding that thing? For time? For discomfort? Pain? Like all those things? Like, I mean, they're terrifying things, but just dive in. Like, honestly, just dive in.
Just jump it.
There's studies that show you get relief. I don't want to say that that's easy. I'd say it's super hard. I have Jimmy here who I can dive into topics with. Other people don't. Other people don't at all, which I totally understand. But if you give yourself permission to do it, I think you'd be surprised. Yeah. Should we go into your favorite? Unsung heroes?
Ooh! Meow, 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 meow. I'm not a sports guy at all. But
well, at least you know that song.
So I'm very thankful for Pat teaching me like all this like
jargon.
Yeah, I didn't know that there's like you get I know there's like leagues, there's like bunting, there's like all this.
Oh yeah, because I was in baseball and basketball.
Yeah,
I played Pop Warner, and that's a good thing. Pop Warner football, and I was super small, and I used to
not pop socket.
Used to resent how small I was, right? Because I have a twin brother, and he was in the league above me, so he was like peewees when I was junior peewees. That was really good, right? Like, but you know what I hated was just being the person.
There's peewees and then there's junior peewees.
I hated getting hit. I hated it.
Wait, what is junior peewee?
So like, it actually starts with Mighty Mites is the smallest. Wait, yeah. Well, this is how it used to work. So like the league was like, it was all weight and age. Yeah, dumbfounding. But it's all weight and age. So like, there's Mighty Mites. This is the smallest.
Wait, Mighty Mites?
Yeah, Mighty Mites.
You got the Mighty Mites.
Yeah.
What's the next one?
And so you have Junior Pee-wee next.
Junior Pee-wee.
Then you have Pee-wee.
Pee-wee.
Junior Midget. And then you have Midget. And that was how, like, or at least it was structured like that for me in the Bay Area. Like, and I was with the Bulldogs. I'm not even sure they exist anymore, but...
This was NorCal?
Yeah.
And they had the last two ones? Did they change it?
No, I mean, like, they had all those was, like, basically weight and age.
Right? All right.
But I was, like, underweight. So I was actually in the lower... Like, my brother would play on a higher team than me.
Okay.
Because he was above weight. But we're twins, right? So we had the same birthday. But I used to like playing in the... I used to like playing in the little one, but I hated being hit. Like, I've been injured a couple times where I was like, I don't like this sport anymore. Yeah. Like, I remember my leg getting, like, pinned into the ground with everybody hitting me from all sides, but my leg was pinned by everybody. And then I started just getting twisted around by everyone hitting me every way. And my leg literally felt like it was, like, in cement and just twisting around like this. I didn't hurt any ligaments or anything, but I was like, this I did not like. Wow. Right? Or I played, like, quarterback. I remember we were playing the Broncos, and I think the city was San Carlos or something like that. And my team was so bad that, like, every time I hiked the ball, and I was the backup quarterback, so, like, the first quarterback got injured. It was, like, raining. I was like, this is my time to shine. Every time I hiked the ball, obliterated by the defense, like obliterated, like there is no line. Like I know what football looks like nowadays, right? But I was obliterated in my chin every way possible, just boom, boom, boom. And I just remember going home just like, that was the worst game ever. It was like 44-0. I think I basically just could hand off the ball. There was no throws, right? Like I was small. But yeah, I just remember getting obliterated. It didn't make me not play the sport anymore, but I still remember to this day.
Dang.
That you can have a team that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you can't save them all.
No.
With 11 people on the field. Your team might just be a little bit worse. At least, I mean, I still played the sport. You know, I didn't like quit the sport until high school came around. I liked baseball and basketball were like the two mains.
That's awesome.
So what's an unsung hero for you?
Oh, I believe it is people who make the continual hard decisions every day to create smiles first in themselves that is lasting and smiles that grow outwards. For a lack of better words, I feel like when we do good in this world to focus on like being grateful or just being kind and like the literal smile to simplify things. You know, when you do this for real, you know, eyebrows lifted, you know, not this one. You know, not
The
that.
rubber band, my mom used to call it the rubber band smile.
They call it the rubber band smile.
She would tell me, like, rubber band.
Dude, that makes so much sense.
There's no eyebrows. It's just like a kind of like a fake, like, it's not, it doesn't have to be fake, but like she would used to call it that. It's not necessarily genuine. You're not showing teeth.
No.
Like, there's no, I mean, you still might make somebody feel bad. So like if you do no smile, a rubber band smile's better. In my opinion, at least that's a step up. But like the genuine smile, like when somebody's like truly happy or laughing, that it's infectious. I've been told that my entire life, and I truly believe that.
And you don't need to be entirely happy.
No,
just an unsung hero is someone who just focuses on that kind of concept and spreads it however way they do it. You know, and some people,
you'll get the feeling when you see somebody else like give you a genuine smile back, even if you're experimenting with yourself about how ingenuine your smile feels. You know, like what I mean, though? Like you could be like, hey, like every day and never get a smile, but that one person that gives you the smile back that's genuine, like you're gonna want to do that. I don't know. It's just weird. It's contagious. It's a ripple effect.
happiness is a beautiful thing. It's contagious. Yeah.
I mean, it is. I feel like people have tried to define it.
Yeah.
You can be happy in a moment. You don't have to be happy all the time. Like there's no person on earth, like not even famous people, nothing. None of them are happy all the time. Like there is no way. It's not possible. Happiness is a state, right? So, I mean, and it's also like a choice to want to go there, you know, often. But knowing that it's not something that's permanent, you could be content. You know, you could be super rich with your house and kids and be content. And you're probably happy more often in that state. But it's not a state that you can just, you can try and exist in it.
Yeah.
Like you can try, but it's a fleeting thing. Happiness is like a goal that can never be grasped entirely.
Smile spreaders, those of which who spread them smiles.
Ripples.
And work on it. You know, and those of which who do good, kindness, and who don't need the applause, the camera.
And please tell us if we're wrong when we say something.
Everyone's opinions matters.
Yeah.
But this is my research. Yes.
And then I'll say my unsung hero thing is a person for this topic was a person who has hard conversations early. Just because that person is doing something that's super hard, in my opinion. So an unsung hero, it's just somebody who just has a hard conversation early. Even other people will like say like, no, I don't want to have that conversation. Totally okay. But like what that person's doing for themselves to me is an unsung hero, because what that person's doing is relieving their own anxiety, whatever, emotion that is trapped, in a sense. And I'm all about emotions being relieved, in my opinion, because if they're bottled up, it's quite literally the worst thing ever, scientifically, everywhere. If you bottle it up, like please share it with somebody. I mean, there's a reason we have therapists. There's a reason we have friends. There's a reason we have mirror neurons. There's a reason community matters type of thing. And you're a big person on community, and you know you re-taught that to me, in my opinion.
It's something that, man, you know, it's one of the as as beautiful and as underrated as a coloring book.
I would agree. I would agree.
Community makes color in this world. But as we roll our eyes with the word community, sometimes we're like, oh, that's hard.
Yeah, I don't want to go. I don't like people. Like, I get that a lot. Like, I don't like my dad for sure. He's a Virgo, but he'll be like, I don't like people. But I do know he likes to go to the dog park with our dogs. And I do know he's called like the mayor of the dog park. So it depends on the person. So that's his community in my mind. So he can say he hates people all the time, but I know that he's
mayor.
A select
He's mayor of the dog park.
You know? Yeah, I mean, that's a nickname. Yeah, but it's funny.
That's actually pretty
'cause
rock
I'm
star.
like, if I go with my dad, I'm like, damn, you know everybody here.
Yeah.
So don't tell me you don't have a community or you don't like people. You definitely like people. Just a certain community, and that's fine. It's totally good. Because at least if you have that, like, you'll be better for it, guaranteed.
Like, he comes home, his dad, you know, from his like, yeah, the treasurer, Sally. Sergeant in Arms is
he does actually.
Donald.
He does actually.
Who's Sally and Donald? Oh yeah, Doberman and a poodle.
That's literally the conversation.
Are you serious?
I swear to God, he like will tell me about people and then the dogs that they have, right? And it's part of the story. I swear. Like, and we have pugs.
I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, that is a wonderful way to nurture the child inside. That's actually wonderful. Yeah.
It's hella funny. It's really funny. And I do want to leave with the takeaway. Do you have something you want to say?
Don't shoot yourself down for asking yourself some hard questions. It ain't gonna be easy. But there's a word out there that I learned. Bravery. And I think there's a correlation with that with some unsung heroes in this world.
Like courage? Like same thing?
Yeah. Bravery is
opposite.
You do it
fear.
Even when in fear.
Yes.
And that is
hard.
So if one can make the proclamation, or if you can say, maybe I am being a little brave. You know what you definitely deserve?
A round of applause. And do it for yourself, and we'll do it for you. Yeah, straight up. And then so for me, avoidance is human. Everyone does it. But we can notice the loop that it creates. And if you just break that loop or you notice that loop, just do, I don't want to say do the opposite, just do something different. Just do something different. Just, I don't want to say grow a sack, but like, you know, like just do something that isn't the same loop that you're doing over and over again. If it's constantly fear, then just dive into the deep end. I don't know, just, it's really hard to get away from fear. Like, and it's very overwhelming.
And it doesn't have to be anything crazy or big. Yeah, it could be like a tiny decision.
Just realize that everyone does it. Everyone avoids something, like guaranteed. You know, like it's a subconscious pattern and a conscious pattern. You can even notice it and still be avoiding the thing. Like, and I feel like that's what I end up doing, right? Like, it's not necessarily subconscious. It's like I notice and then I'm like, shit, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, it's awesome because, like, you know, it's so easy to be like, oh, it's very normal, but really, we're not alone on this.
No, everyone.
Yeah, you're not alone on this. It'd be happening all the time. I wasn't gonna say a bad joke. All right, I was gonna say.
Well, so then I wanted to give it a couple examples. It's like send that message, send that text message that would be uncomfortable. Make that call you didn't want to make. Start the task you don't want to do. Have a conversation you didn't want to have. Take the first step. Jump into the river of uncertainty and you'll be surprised. That's what I want to say. Boom. Drop the mic. Oh. He doesn't like physical contact, but I know he likes the concept. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, guys.